Shall I do the intro and we just start this, get it
Absolutely.
going? Think so.
Jump in.
Y'all know what we say. YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another Power Creep podcast. I am with my co-host. We got the homie Tweacz
What's up, fellas?
in the building to cover, I think, one of both of our favorite units ever to be introduced into the game. Alice, I think, was one of the characters Tweacz and I kind of bonded with initially because her original form released about when I started the game and was one of the first characters I pulled. And surprise, surprise, her OG ultimate was also a very special and broken thing back in the day, and she was just helping me clear out all kinds of things, Tower of Trials. It was a good time, and Tweacz likes his broken things, so he's like,
Surprise.
2 thumbs up, glad you're enjoying her. And it was
Um,
definitely something we got along on.
Her special, I love her S2. To me, her S2 is still one of the best skills in the entire game. Those missiles, oh my god.
Bro, I remember the
Still
the
hits.
Jalabanga
Mhm.
multiplayer beta grind.
Oh,
she,
yeah.
She was one of those special units that could like 2-tap it. Oh, good times, man. How far we've come. What
So,
the
I
heck?
mean, leading up to this Alice, we also had that Summer Alice.
Summer
She was
Alice.
great.
Yeah, she was great. I have a chip on my shoulder with her,
Uh-huh.
but I can't deny the facts. She's an incredible unit. Still,
Uh-huh.
I'd say to this day.
Yep, she
So-
actually absolutely is.
Yeah, so I can appreciate what Summer Alice is. But today we were blessed with a version of her that I have no chip for. I love everything about this Alice, bro.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look at that home screen.
Yeah, they're listen, they crush it with the art so often. I mean, it's far and few and far between. Like how many times we are like, the art's okay. Like, I'm sorry, their art squad at Adis, absolute fire.
They picked the right blues, bro. I mean,
I,
that's you, blue and purple. I'm looking at it right now.
I agree with you,
Yeah,
completely.
I'm loving
Um,
the thumbnails. Making thumbnails is easy with this artwork.
they know what they're doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
I had a sentence I was gonna say. Like I said, your boy Buddha's kind of slow right now, so I'm
Hmm.
just talking to
Um,
fill the void. But you got anything?
I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
I know we talked about this a little bit before, but before we get into her specifically, do you want to give me a little overview on like how she should be used in like for most accounts, like what she's going to be useful for?
For most accounts, she's not gonna feel incredible until you get Sword of the Lost Souls.
Yeah.
That's when, because I'm literally just thinking about my experience with OG Alice. I was a brand new account. I got her as one of my starter units, put her on the squad with DB Ray, and she felt like doo doo. Then I eventually worked my way up to getting Sword of the Lost Souls. I had invested a little more into her board. I got some of her traits and multipliers unlocked and Awakening, making her ult more powerful.
Yep.
And then when that combination of things came together and I was charging up her ult super fast, using it on a regular basis, and then the entire board would just be gone no matter what stage I was taking on, I realized why she was so potent. And I think both you and I agree that this version is literally just the modern version of her OG self.
Yep, I think so. Maybe a little bit less than expected physical DPS potential, but the alt is just like it's quite literally the most powerful alt in the entire game.
There's no question. I think mathematically, just the amount of spam
Uh-huh.
ability, like how
Uh-huh.
fast it charges. There's a little, but I don't know if you were fishing for a certain answer, but
Go ahead.
this one is a little more. You got to be a little more tactful with it though, because of how she absorbs skill stocks when she uses it.
Yeah.
But I think we're jumping the gun,
Maybe.
right?
However, is good.
Right. But however, a new account is gonna be very underwhelmed with her. I mean, like you said, her PDPS, you can tell her multipliers are a little low. You got to stack a lot of damage modifiers to make her hit cap. However, she is still very mobile, which is super fun. And that was another thing that was super fun for me with OG Alice was her S1 is the gap closer, and you have a ton of stocks of the S1. Well, actually, that's a lie because she has the same amount of base stocks in all 3 of her skills, which is different. But the S1 still charges more quickly, yes? Still gets to 3 more quickly than the other 2?
Absolutely.
Right.
Smaller CTM.
So the S1 is still a more spammable skill, so you're just jumping all over the map with her S1. Super speedy, super teleporty. Her S2 is that nice long range, so you can S1 jump across the map, S2 fire off her little laser beams. And her S3, though. Ugh.
I like her S3. Actually.
You like her
S3? I know I
S3?
saw you on the stream, and I saw you like kind of like not being that happy with it. I actually really like it.
Okay. Well, I think we can talk more about like specifics. However, I'm just trying to come to a closing point with that question you asked. It's just the ultimate. Once you find your rhythm in being able to spam the ultimate, regardless if you're a new account or your end game with a lot of limited things, she's gonna feel fantastic in that area. Yep. You just have to use her like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think her main niche is her ultimate damage. Like, she's not going to feel like a crazy OP in terms of physical DPS. They're literally selling her with that ult. And that's just something most accounts and most people can just totally ignore, and that's great. It's wonderful.
Right. And talk about the setup with SRoland being released before her with the charisma he has.
Like, no surprise there.
Oh
wait, Roland has a special charisma that boosts special damage and special cap. I wonder why they're both 3rd anniversary units together.
Yeah,
weird.
They're telling you how to use Alice. So it's been interesting seeing like the community feedback. Lot of mixed feedback on this one,
and that's understandable with how we kind of expected her to play out.
Yes.
But yeah, sure. Why don't we just get into her? Because we're gonna get into her, and it's gonna be a little bit interesting. Some pluses, some minuses, but some really niche scenarios that she's gonna excel very hard in.
Take it away.
Being a machine, great typing or off the bat. For being like slayers and in places like arena. If you feel like using her there, I don't think she's gonna be that good of an arena unit, but this is coming from a person who uses Roy and Shift Rimuru and Maja and Shift Eliza and Gorm and like Emtheria. Like,
there's nothing that touches them, bro.
Those are my meta. So
yeah, that's my meta.
I mean, but that's in my brain. That's who I'm going to be using, right?
That's who I have the easiest time decimating everything in arena with. So,
and based on your and my experience with her physical DPS potential, like it's just not going to get there.
It's going to get nerfed even harder.
Yeah. So is she going to be good there? Maybe if you get her ult off. I have no idea, which is very unlikely to happen. But if you can make it work, who knows? But machine typing, very good. Let me actually just take off her stuff here, just so we can see her actual resists. Maybe game, maybe. Okay.
There we go.
Nil to curse and illness and poison fire. +2 to each of those. Weak to blind, not really that noticeable. I mean, I don't really care about that as much. They resist to silence though, because both of her her full restore and the code beta are spells. Technically, this can harm you, but I wouldn't hamper on it too hard. That's really not that big of a detriment. Onto the abilities: S1, S2, and S3. Again, like we've said before, and similar to Roland, her skills are very similar to her OG form. S1 being a warper, it places you behind the enemy just like her original version. It's a 6-hitter. and her S2 being like a missile attack. It's not as cool as the OG form in my opinion, but it's a 10 hitter, 20 dual wield. Gonna be like a missile. First part's a missile attack with like, it reminds me of SAlice's S3, like those first like laser beam missiles that come out, and then she does hit an AOE around the target. And then her S3 is going to be a 16 hitter, 13 or 32 dual wield. This is going to be a lunge attack that is going to pop them up into the air. It reminds me of Melee's S3 a good bit, to be honest. Maybe not as like crazy as hers, but it does remind me of Melee's S3.
I'd say the same, like in terms of hit count and just flashiness.
Animation wise, yeah, 100%.
I can see that.
So her skills are okay. Like they're nothing. She has a warp, she has a long range attack, which is non line of sight, and she has a lunge for a big S3. That's perfectly fine. Those are all targeting skills. Notably, she doesn't have any like standalone AOEs, which are important for places like Arena. So, is she, perfectly built for there? No, but as a physical DPS side, sure, it's very usable, very usable. But the real kicker here is her special. LE Genesis, powerful light combo attack to all enemies, damage cap based on your awakening. I only have awakening 2, so I only have plus 3,000 cap, but at awakening 4, she gets damage cap plus 5,000, and then gives a unit a strength minus 50% debuff. So it is a 40 hit special, but since she has true dual wield, spoilers, true dual wield, becomes 80 hits. Based on her caps, based on her cap raises, based on if you want to enable her. This turns into an 80 hit special with the most powerful alt in the entire game, as well as being AoE. Not only is it going to hit one boss, it is going to hit every single enemy on the map, as well as even get stronger when there's only one enemy on the map as well. So, and we're going to showcase that. So this is her niche right here. Her special is the most broken part of her kit, 100%, and she does it better than literally every other unit in the entire game. I've always been one to harp on the fact that we've always had some really, really good alt units, and the best ones that we've had before her have been Shift Allison's Lord, being the highest 2 single target alts, Milim following them, like not that closely, but Summer Alice and Zlorg, and then the AoE specials have been Loug Zeus and Levi. She blows them the hell out of the water. It's unreal how much damage potential she has, and honestly, at base, without like putting stuff into her and just using her own caps, it's disgusting. If you want to boost her up, like enable her even harder, she can do over 5 million per alt, which is just insane. And at base, it's like 3 million AoE. So that's her niche. If you want to focus on her physical DPS, it's not incredible, but she has ways that she can be useful in physical DPS regardless. So we'll talk about that. The main issue with this strength, or that we thought was an issue with this special, is the strength debuff for minus 50%. Spoiler alert, that debuff only lasts 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Like what?
You can, if you're not like hyper chaining alts together, you can literally just ignore it.
Yeah.
We have ways, and we'll go when we go to the Eclipse, of ways to add equipment to cause that to be ignored. But honestly, when she loses a strength debuff, which that takes 5 seconds to go off of her, she gains a Grand Brave buff, which we'll talk about in her uniques. But she gains a 35% buff to strength for 40 seconds. So in essence, that strength debuff is kind of like a buff.
Yeah.
Because she only has auto brave innate. So, or her like combat system or whatever, till her first death. So like, yeah, the minus 50% debuff is pretty much negligible in most gameplay, unless you're like GWOR chaining alts. That's it.
Yep.
Which I have not found myself to be wanting to do at all so far. Maybe in places like time trials when you want to do that, sure. But even then, if you want to get the max damage out of her ult, you're also going to need to be filling up her skill stock. So like, this is almost like a deterrent to people to pulling her, but it's not a big deal at all.
Really not. And
it's really not at all. Yeah, it's great. E3 Reactor. So when defeating an enemy, physical damage cap plus 500, special gauge plus 5%, max physical damage cap plus 5,000, fill rate doesn't reset each wave. So what this is basically saying here is that at 10 enemies killed, she gets 5,000 cap. Sure, I guess. I mean, we're not really harping on her physical side too much. and then special gauge plus 5%. This is just constant. Whenever she kills an enemy, she gets 5% special gauge, which we have not seen on pretty much any unit. At least I don't remember. Do you remember anything? I don't think I've ever seen that, except for the only place we've seen that is by chance on a Phoenix Bulwark.
Correct. The special gauge on kill? No.
On kill.
No, because not
You've
even.
never seen it guaranteed.
What did OG have that sped it up?
She just had a faster fill rate.
She just had a faster fill rate. So
Yeah.
no, this excited me a lot. The on kill 5%, because I was thinking like I said, when you're just starting and you're doing the majority wave by wave content and clearing multi enemy waves, and you start seeing how fast this one special charges up, it just is so awesome. Super exciting.
When using special, boost special power based on few enemies there are, max damage plus 60%, damage cap plus 6,000. So what happens here is when you're facing one enemy, you get that full 6,000 or 6,000 and then like 60%. And then it cuts it every plus enemy, it's 20% down and 2,000 damage cap down. So at 2 enemies, it's going to be 40% and 4,000. At 3 enemies, it's going to be 20% and 2,000. And then at 4 enemies, it just nullifies it. So while this is cool, you really don't need to focus on it at all. Her special is going to hit just incredibly hard, anyways. As anyone who's in the in your stream right now can probably attest, who has built her.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilariously
funny.
strong. Either way, trait 2. This is where we still get into her physical side. When 2 of either sword machines / spear are equipped, physical attack damage plus 30%, damage cap plus 3,000, physical damage taken minus 25%. And I know you asked me earlier in your stream, and I kind of tried to clarify things. This is like Dante's or Shift Lilibet's passive, where you need to be using 2 of them, right? So it says when 2 of either sword, machine, or spear. What it means to say, it's kind of a little bit confusing. You cannot use 2 of the same type. You need to be using 2 of those 3 types. So you can use sword and machine, sword and spear, or machine and spear in order to get that full damage cap boost and physical attack boost, as well as the physical damage taken. You cannot be using 2 swords, 2 machines, 2 spears to get that. And that just requires an easy test. If you want to check it out, go ahead and do that yourself. But you need 2 unique types of those 3. And by the way, if you're building her for straight special and you don't give a shit about her physical damage, you can just ignore that. You can use 2 swords if those would enable you highest. You can use 2 machines if those will enable you the highest. So if you're building for physical damage, yes, use 2 separate ones. If not, just for special damage, you can do whatever the heck you want. The last part though, when attacked, chance to cut the physical damage taken effect 0.5%. I don't know what the chance is for that, but every time she gets hit with an attack, she has a chance to drop that 25% physical damage taken to make it less effective. So it goes from like 25% down to 24.5%, down to 24%, and so on, depending on how many times it procs. And you can see in the UI as she's getting hit with attacks when it procs. I do not know the chances. It's probably like, being such a low percentage drop, it's probably like 20%, 30%, something around there when she gets attacked. So I would expect it to be, not a pretty high percentage just because it's a low effect. How do you feel about that trait too, Buddha?
I think they could have found a better way to word it.
100%. I find it that they didn't give her 20,000 more damage cap to her special in the second trait is pretty annoying.
Oh man, yeah. That would right. Let's just break the special beyond belief. Why not?
It is just really funny here because if we look at this stuff, what is in her traits? Because her niche is special damage in our opinion. I can pretty confidently say that. But only one part of her traits is based on special damage. Like just
True.
the last part of trait 2.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still just that disgusting. But why don't we go into
yeah, well, there's some skills that explain that.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do skill cost. Okay, I think I have everything on here. These spells that she gets innate, just like base Alice, just like Summer Alice, we have Ether Force for release. This is going to be, it costs 200 MP to use, so you'll need at least 200 MP to activate it, but it uses up all of your MP. It gives you a big heal, so a 9,999 heal, and then restores all of your units' SCT. So it's basically like a mix between Winter's Apple Pie and Honey Elixir. It's like a non-time stop Honey Elixir, which is super nice. Just any unit with innate ways to fill their own stocks automatically jumps like 17 tiers in the usability of a unit overall.
Yeah.
Not only that, she has a second full MP dump that can be used once per battle, sure. Or once per quest, I should say. Ether full release code beta. This consumes all your MP to restore 100% of units special gauge. Now, this is essentially, one arc we've talked about always that has been just broken as all hell in the game itself is the Great War of Ruin, UR arc. This is essentially giving you a free Great War of Ruin instant special. You spend 200 MP, it nukes the rest of it, you get 100% of your special gauge. Which, being a special unit, and being a unit that is going to have ridiculous potential on their special, that's extremely strong. Yeah, this is the first time we've ever seen this. This is one of the main reasons why she's so strong with her special, is that she literally just gets one for free. Yes, it costs you all your MP, but there's ways to get your MP back, and we'll talk about that and how to maximize her special soon. But she has 2 full MP dumps for both her SCT and her special gauge. Of course, the special gauge can only be used once per battle, so keep in mind that takes a little bit of, deciding of when to use that, but pretty nice, pretty nice. Of course, she has her activate Slayer mode. That's on all the Alices so far. Because she has auto activate this at the beginning of battle. You'll only need after the first 40 seconds to reactivate this, and it costs 40 MP. So, not bad. Fighting Spirit 5, Resolve up 4, Critical up 2, Advancing Vitals with Prod Force. That's already a good setup for a physical DPS unit, as well as being a special attacker. Those are all good passives. Royal Armor, going to be minus 50% chance of receiving critical hits. Anti-Fizz Armor is a 10% chance to negate physical damage or set it to 0. Sure. Auto Protection, Auto Haste. I'm going to skip ahead to the combat program, because this is essentially Auto Brave, Speed, and Critical while has not died up until her first death. So as long as you keep her safe and alive, she will have Auto Brave, Speed, and Critical for the remainder of the battle.
Related it to Mikasa's skill that she has, just because that's a little more recent.
I think all 3 of them have had that too.
Yeah, those. Yeah, and the Summer has the raid one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holy Armor is just going to be minus 20% dark damage to the unit. Patience, sure. Awaken for free is always nice. Get that below that 30% threshold, heal up a big heal, and get a boost of strength, 50% strength boost, strength, defense, and mind boost. Light Mega Drive, innate. So here's actually, this is one thing here. What she's missing here is, things like Light Drive, things like Light Attack Raise or Light Attack Raise 2, Light Attack Raise 3. I do think I would have liked to have seen those on her, but she comes with Light Mega Drive, and considering this skill itself is super rare and only on UR, I'm okay with it being here and filling in the rest of the SC for other boosts.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly okay with that. Anytime you can get away with not having to have a UR to get skills, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Light crit raise, sure, I guess. I mean, I don't really find myself utilizing crits too hard on her, but yes.
No.
Pose of Glory Innate was always nice. Booster. I don't know what the movement speed is here. It's probably just +2.
I think so.
Let's be honest. Probably just +2 movement speed. But then we get into True Dual Wield. So True Dual Wield is something that we've only seen on Summer Alice, we've only seen on Levi, and now on her. This is dual wield, but it also doubles, cuts and doubles the special hits. So like we talked about before, the special is normally 40 hits. With True Dual Wield, it is now 80 hits. All of her physical attacks are also doubled. This does not stack with dual wield, so keep that in mind. People have asked, hey, can I stack dual wield on here and get 4 hits? No, that's not it. Those are totally not stackable things. I agree with you guys. I wish that I could throw dual wield on here and have quad hits, and that'd be sick. But
why not?
It just doesn't work like that.
That's funny.
I can only imagine. But really one of the best passes in the entire game. And you know, if anyone has used Summer Alice or Levi, can appreciate the fact that the special is double hits and, you know, huge nuker damage, as well as amazing physical, you know, hit counts and all that kind of stuff. So definitely one of the best skills in the entire game, and she's the third unit to have it. Sword Mega Boost and Machine Mega Boost. Of course, this is what we're missing here out of her 3 types that she's supposed to be picking from. Is Spear Mega Boost. I do wish she had that, but you know, what are you gonna do? Can't do it now. But Sword Mega Boost and Machine Mega Boost, things that we have not had on Arcs, and now with Machine High Boost being available on an SSR, which we'll get to on the new SSR, you have, you know, Sword Boost, Sword High Boost, Machine High Boost on SSR Arcs that you can choose from to use on her. If you're, I feel like her best offensive powers or her offensive weapon types are Sword and Machine. Probably her best defensive type is Spear, because, you know, Spear boosts are very defensively oriented. So I like that she has these two, because I'm mostly going to be using her for offense. Notably, these are only physical attack multipliers.
Correct.
If you're building her for special, these
Don't
are pretty
matter.
much just negligible. Doesn't matter at all. So it's kind of cool. I like that she has those innate ultimate boost 3. We've only seen on an LR, so she gets that for free. You can throw on ultimate boost and ultimate boost 2, which are available on SSRs. So again, we continue the what you call it, the trend here of things that are in her kit that are only available on super select arcs, and you can fill in the rest with other things available on permanent arcs,
and are expensive
and very expensive. Yeah. Boss wave start special gauge plus 25% for charge special. This is just nice to have. I think with her killing spree type pose of special that she has, pretty much, a lot of times you'll probably get to the end boss having killed a bunch of units, or just had the hit counts to charge up your special enough where you'll eventually have that special gauge at boss wave start. Of course, on one wave bosses, you're probably not going to have it at the start. That's okay. But for a lot of, like, you know, end game content like ability gates and God Forges, which if you want to be using her there, then you'll probably be getting a special gauge in the final boss wave.
For sure.
Giant Killing 2 is just nice to have. Special skill and special damage to the bosses specifically, plus 20%, and then damage gap plus 2,000. Mercury Veil. This is something that Expect and is it Zyx, I think, have this.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure those are the only two.
I know Expect does.
Basically, every 30 seconds you get one single ailment buff, and that's just, I mean, that's just good value for in places that you might be having ailments afflicted. Activate combat program we've talked about. Auto Slayer mode. This automatically activates your Slayer mode, which you'll have to reapply after 40 seconds. Overboost. Now here's where the kicker hits. Basically for every skill stock that you have, when you're up to 9 skill stocks, every skill stock you have, when you activate that special, it yeets every single one of them, and you get 1,500 damage cap and 15% damage on the special for every single one you release. So at max, if you release all 9 stocks, you get plus 135% special damage, as well as 13,500 damage cap. She has skill stocks innate of 3, 3, and 3. Coincidence? No. So she has 9 base skill stocks. Yeeting all of them will get you a absolutely ridiculous massive special. And being 80 hits, just having that alone from the 9 stocks, even if you like were capping already, I mean, that's a lot. That's over 1 million extra damage just from having full skill stocks.
For sure.
Notably, if you choose to not use this, which I don't know many places you would choose to not use it, if you still want to keep her skills on her, you can turn this off. That's an option. You can always turn any of this stuff off. Like, if you want her to get afflicted, you can turn off Mercury Veil. I mean, I'm not sure why you would, but in a certain scenario that you might want to keep their skill stock, sure, you can use it. Blade Reconstruction. Duration of strength debuffs on unit minus 50%. This is fantastic. This is like, you know, this is why her strength debuff is only 5 seconds. Now, I can't tell you as to why, you know, a base of the debuff is only 10 seconds and it cuts it by half, but, you know, that's just coding. And that's, you can't see that when you're seeing the strength debuff. So her strength debuff on her special lasts 5 seconds. But when you recover from that, after 5 seconds, you get a free Grand Brave for 40 seconds. So in essence, you use her special, you have, okay, 5 seconds of downtime, but then you get 40 seconds of a plus 35% strength. Now, she already has plus 20% with her Brave in her activated combat program. So in my mind, that strength debuff is almost kind of like a buff if you're using her in most content after you use her like alt. So yeah, it's great.
I agree. Totally agree.
Wing Barrier Reboot, when units arrive, fully restore the trait, either wings cut physical damage taken effect. So if she dies, and you had that trait too of where your 25% physical damage taken is gone, like dropped and procced all the way down to like 10%. If she dies, she revives with a full minus 25% damage cut. So you'll restart that process to drop it, which is great. Of course I would suggest keeping her alive as much as you can, but if she does die, that's just something nice that regenerates. What do you want to get into? You want to talk about like what you kind of put in her kit, or
Yeah, for special boost.
okay?
I'd say.
Set only. I don't remember if I have her set up specifically for this, but we're gonna go through and see what I have on her. Yes. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is that her physical DPS potential, and we'll get into testing her and I'll show you her skills and all that kind of stuff. Her DPS potential isn't like broken at all. It's very good. It's going to, if you have the right slayers, if you have some good physical DPS boosts, she's going to be very nice to use, especially be having a, if you slap Goddess Kiss on her, get some MP back and be able to utilize that pretty much innate honey elixir as much as you can to get her skill stocks back, spam skills. She's going to feel great. What's not going to feel great is her multipliers. She is missing quite a bit of multipliers for her physical DPS. I think you and I both noted that. And in a lot of places you're going to want to be using a strong physical DPS, she's not going to be the best there. Of course, if you use enablers and you use other units to, increase her viability in the physical DPS department, she's going to feel pretty great. But solo Alice as a physical DPS is not the most she's exciting, but she's not going to be your like highest damage dealers. Like you have Levi's, you have Loug Zeus, Roy's, even shit Rimaru's. I'm talking like the latest units, Millims, like her physical DPS being relatively low caps, and she has high skill counts, sure. Her main niche is going to be her special. So keep in mind, like we're not looking at her physical DPS as being her like overall mind-blowing potential. She has a certain niche. So when you're building her for physical DPS, yes, if you want to build her for that wave clearing type deal, physical damage boosts, weapon boosts, you're looking at things like drives, situational modifiers like Sky High, Backstab, Surprise Attack, Pirate's Feast for SCT if you want to use in wave battles for like Godforge and Ability Gates, raise your skill stocks, get some skills going. But if you want to build specifically for specials, it takes a little bit of a different approach, right? If you look at a kit and you're trying to build out specials, there's really not too many boosts to build up special damage because it's a very unique type of damage. None of your physical attack damage multipliers are going to work. You're looking at stat boosts and you're looking at like attack raises, as well as like those positional modifiers for. I don't actually remember if her Sky High works on it, but I know like back surprise attack works on it. For her alt.
I don't think it picks them up.
It does? Okay.
No, well, I don't think it does.
You don't? Okay. But one thing that you're going to be concentrating on boosting as well into her damage is that overboost, which you need stocks and stocks to get added bonus damage, added damage cap. So what way I have her built right now is for alt boosting. What do I have on her? Is going to be, I'm going to fill out the rest of her SC with attack ups because her alt is based off of strength. I'm using light high drive because I have it. I mean, obviously this is on Kagutsuchi, so you probably may not have it. Light attack raise 2, of course, very limited. And then your ultimate boost 1 and 2. And then I'm using skill charges. Why? Because I'm going to be eating them. into her special. These are going to be sacrificial lambs as we get boosted damage, as well as phone booth, and then I'm using Baton of the Future because I was using her in Pablo and having one of my units die to give me skill stocks.
So
Like,
broken.
there's really not that many damage boosters. All you can really boost is stats and essentially drives and attack raises, as
Yep.
well as positional modifiers, such as surprise attack or sky high, which, again, sky high probably doesn't work. But
Yeah,
that
but
leaves a lot of
the
room if you don't have
yeah, I
all of those
mean,
things.
right, right.
But you can boost her. The other way of boosting her special potential is through enablers, enablers and equipment. And why don't we just get into equipment right now?
Mhm.
Because I think an important aspect of her is what's best in slot for her equipment specifically. Physical DPS wise, her weapon is very good. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Her weapon's solid. Being light attribute is very important because Goddess Kiss procs. Oh, I should mention that before so we don't miss that. Goddess Kiss specifically is very good on her. Why? Well, she has those innate um, two innate MP dumps, such as the Ether Release and the Code Beta. And Goddess Kiss is very important because it, her regular, as you boost her physical damage in her regular attacks, it has a 10% chance of getting back 2% of that damage dealt as MP. So if you can manage to hit like a 20k hit, that's already going to dump you back 400 MP. Or if you manage to hit for 5k, that's 100 damage or 100 MP back when it procs. So this is what you're looking for. This is one addition that I think is almost mandatory on every single part of her kit. If you're planning on utilizing that SCT sustain through that other Ether full release, you want the MP procs back. So with that in mind, though, in order to get like very strong MP procs back, you need a weapon generally that is going to work with her attack raises, her drives, her weapon boosts. So a sword, machine, both being light, are probably some of her best in slot items, right? Her paid item is fantastic. It's going to be your light attack damage plus 10%, light attack damage cap plus 1500. Notably, that's all light attack damage, and then crit rate plus 5%. If you don't feel like using that, okay, I get it. That's perfectly fine. We're going to go with sword and light. Oh, nope. Holy Blood Zajadosian, which we've just had, which I can't speak, we've just had coming out in the event. And, if you beat the 5 Battle Lords and 4 Lords battles, you can make this. Is going to be your light sword. True sword Excalibur at plus 40 is also going to be fantastic. Critical rate plus 5%, light physical attack damage plus 20%. And then your Zelbius Blade, which is the UR from the original Eldravon arc, the Imperator Eldravana, which crit rate plus 5%, and light attack damage to plus 10%, which is all damage. We have quite a bit of light swords. So you have, I'm assuming people will have a few of these to pick from. So for the Goddess Kiss proc specifically, yeah, you're going to have a lot of options. I'm running the Epiphany Blade Estrion because I think her paid item is actually pretty good. And I don't think I'm going to need much more else here. But as to her secondary equips, so as we talked about, if you're building her for physical damage, that trait 2 is going to need another unique equip. And that's going to be either machine or spear. And Trishula, being light element, or light attribute, and ignoring resist on skills is very, very good for her. Synergizing with her Goddess Kiss procs, synergizing with her skills not being resisted by enemies. Easily her best in slot for the second spot. We're gonna go with this, then we're gonna go with light, and we're gonna see just exactly what shows up. So all the swords, great. The only spear that's in here that's light is gonna be the Yuletide Evergreen Staff. I don't think that's really that important. Rivazard Halberd, sure. There's a couple options, but I think swords machines are probably the way to go if you're building her offensively, and spears generally. You're probably going to be using a different spear if you're going to be building her defensively. The second part, if you're going to be building special, like we've talked before, the Sword of Lost Souls. The Sword of Lost Souls
Ridiculous.
is going to be one of the most OP things in the game for her. Why? Sure, it gives 15% physical and special attack damage. But the second part, if special damage resisted, ignore resistance. So if you're hitting an enemy with 100 resistance to light, and you have this equipped, and you launch her special, it's going to act like the enemy has 0 resistance to light. Doesn't
Yep.
set the resistance to 0. It just ignores it completely. Any positive resistance against it is just completely ignored. So this is going to be, if you're not using Goddess Kiss procs, or even if like you want half of your damage kit on dual wield to have good Goddess Kiss procs, like you would have Trishula. This plus Trishula is going to be her best in slot in most scenarios, I would say.
Agreed.
Just covering the special resistance and then covering the skill resistance is going to be huge. At least one item being light for some Goddess Kiss procs, and then this is just like super omega value for her because she's a special nuker. So definitely is fantastic. So then we're looking at accessories, and I know we have an accessory for her specifically. Is going to be the Lightwing Pack Reese. This is her paid accessory. I don't find it that interesting. Now people will say, and I think if you're relatively new, this could be helpful, but in the long run, I think the sword is, you're probably better off with the sword. The chance for special to deal critical damage, while it may seem good, and while you know you may be able to proc Proud Force off of it, bring your HP back to full because Slayer mode dropped you a little bit. I just, once you're building to cap, I just don't think it's that important, right? We don't have ways to utilize pursuits on criticals except for using specific arcs. So like even like especially if I'm building to cap, I'm not going to utilize it very much. So out of the 2 paids, I think the sword is probably the go-to. I don't think the skill 1 damage cap is necessary. That plus 2,000 is pretty negligible because in most situations you're going to be building her for special anyways. Again, I just don't think it's that good.
They're really leaning into like individual skills getting damage caps.
Yeah.
Do you notice that?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but 2,000 damage cap for a 6-hit, 12-hit dual wield hit skill is like, okay. If it was like a skill 3 damage cap plus 2,000,
right,
for a 32-hit dual wield skill, then we're talking. But I don't feel like it's that important. Now, let's get into some things that can boost her physical attack. So we have the free Equilibrium Sphere, which is going to be, let's go with here. Equilibrium Sphere is going to be one of my favorites on her for sure. We have Sun God Magatama, another 10% light attack damage for all of her stuff. We also have the Arc Beings Egg. Now, we have a couple items in the game that are going to be ignoring that strength debuff on her alt. This is one of them. It says nullify strength/defense debuffs from active skills, exclude some debuffs. This is going to work. It's going to ignore that debuff that happens on her special is going to never happen. Now, what we talked about before, it's 5 seconds of that buff, or that debuff. So it's really not that important to ignore it, as well as you kind of lose that Grand Brave proc when it wears off. The only reason I would suggest ever using this is if you're planning on hyper-chaining alts together. So if you're using one alt, and then, back to back, you want to use a second one if you have Great War Ruin, and maybe you fill their stocks with Honey Elixir or WAP or something, and that 5 seconds is still not up, and you don't want that minus 50% strength debuff on you, then yes, this will be perfect for that. But in most scenarios, in almost every scenario, that you're going to be using her as an attacker, you're probably just going to ignore this. Notably, this is a UR-AR. There is another option for an accessory that can do this. This is going to be stun. It's going to be the Binge Eater's Bandana. This is an item from the Shift GWOR event last year. Hopefully we'll have a rerun of it eventually. But nullify strength debuffs from magic/skills/special, exclude some debuffs. This also ignores that strength debuff. So you have options if you want to do that. I don't think it's that beneficial, and I think it's more of a buff if you just leave that 5 seconds on for the strength debuff after you use a special. So, and it just kind of takes up a slot that you could be using for different equipment, right? So, other equips, again, anything that boosts light damage, we have the Grim Cult Pegulto or Peluto or something like that, whatever that's called, from the AOG Lily event, I believe. That boosts light attack damage by 10%. Yep. Yeah, you have a lot of options here. Most notably, if you want to raise damage cap on her special, the multiplayer rings, such as the Sage Lord and the Hail Sovereign's ring, gives you plus 1500 cap. And then the Scarlet ring in the Crimson Ore Shop gives you 2000 damage cap, which I think are probably two of her better equips. So, um, definitely very usable. And we're going to equip those now just because I think we're going to showcase her special a little bit, which will be fun.
Fun,
It'll be lots of fun.
I mean, you did a good job of showcasing her special all day today. That's for
Bro,
sure.
I had so much fun.
Dude, you were on it.
I did.
It was very nice to see. It was very nice to see. What's hilarious
I see Dojo is late to the building.
If anyone, oh Dojo, if anyone wants to get just a kick out of how time flies, go watch Tweacz' original.
No, we're not. We don't need to.
OG Alice soloing Pablo Boria, and then watch his video he posted today. It's a fun side by side.
Okay, so what's gonna happen here is that we don't really have. You know what? I'll build for this. I wasn't gonna put a Slayer on, but I think we should just for showcase ability because this is like a normal physical DPS build, and then we'll show. Oh man, come on. Come on. Oh no. I'm losing it.
What are you looking for?
That's fine.
What were you looking for? Sorry.
Nothing.
I'm over
We're
here.
just gonna showcase her skills a little bit.
Yeah. So what we'll probably notice is the DPS on her skills.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be crazy caps. We're not. She's no melee. She's no consistent SRoland. She's just usable. And the one drawing point that she has for her, going for her, is that she has infinite SCT sustain. I forgot to put Goddess Kiss on her, so we're not going to have that right now.
Nice.
But she does have that. She has the ability to regen MP and yeet all the enemies.
She does, yes. Yeah, I didn't find any trouble with getting those MP procs back. Do you have a Slayer on her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, button put it on.
Oh, so that's not bad.
I mean, it's not terrible, right? But it's not. No. It's not going to be your Levi's. It's not going to be your.
No, it's not standout damage for sure. However, it's fun.
It is fun. She has great moves. Her S1 is fantastic as being like a warp. S2 is ranged. S3 is some solid damage, sure. But what we're really using her for is her special. And I think that's kind of what I want to do right here is throw her special up because it's ridiculous.
Basically, don't worry if you're not hitting caps with your physical attacks. They are just fuel to get to the special.
And like I talked about before, I don't really care about her physical attacks, so I'm just going to go 2 swords.
Okay.
And I know that's blasphemy. You can't do that. But I'm gonna do it because that's where we're looking at her full special.
Yes.
So like I said before, I'm putting skill stocks into her, just so we can use, and we might not have the full special at the beginning of this, but we're gonna have quite a bit. Putting on ultimate boost. No, we're not worrying about that stuff. This stuff's good. I believe I had Slayers on her, which I need to take off. Yes, special boost, Slayer, no. And now we're running out of things to add to her, so I'm going to add on these 2, just straight stats. Sure, why not? And this is where it gets ridiculous, because she has her base innate code beta. So we have 6 stocks worth. That's enough. We're going to use her free Great War Ruin. And now she has 6 stocks worth, and then we're going to kill everything.
2.6 mil. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Well over 2.6. Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm a
just
fan.
Innate.
Yeah, that's no enabling. Aside from her having her stocks.
I've been using skill stocks and
of course. But that's still, I consider that self-enabling. That's not, in order to hit those numbers with Luke and Levi and even Summer Alice in a single target, correct me if I'm wrong, you were using Sarah. You were using, what else? Well, no, you had did you have El drop there? You didn't have El drop there.
I had a Drav on.
You had El drop on. Okay. Okay, so that's
do a
a
zero
little
SC
limited.
build then. How about that?
Let's do a 0 SC build. See what happens.
You guys want to see something? Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna use Drav because that's the highest potential arc in the game.
It does help. I wouldn't just to see what it looks like without the 120% extra mod.
What do we want to do? Do we want to add any damage bonus? Because we can add a little bit.
Don't do that one. Okay. I'm trying to think of just like something real plain Jane. Maybe just something that gives you a strength boost.
Okay.
Killing machines. Yep. There it is. There it is. That's the OG. Yep. Beautiful.
So this is also based on your skill stocks, right?
This is actually a pretty good arc to recommend. I don't know if it's targeted
before or after, but yeah, let's see it. Why not?
I'm not mad at recommending this arc, especially since it's SSR.
No skill stocks. Damn, unlucky. Let's see what she can do. Who knows? I don't think she's gonna. Yep.
Yeah. So it's not. See, this is like. But okay. So how much? So pause it, or switch targets. So that went from what 2.6 to 1.8. Right.
Yeah. So it's about 800K.
800K.
Nothing.
If you just pull her on a fresh account, you can just deal 800K damage. Time stop. That's a freaking UR arc skill in her special that you can use repeatedly as long as you're charging it up.
Okay, we're gonna put this back on, and then I'm gonna put on nothing else. We're gonna see the differences between the UR eligible and this. It's gonna be a lot.
If you are still very new and you have her, next time Tower of Trials comes around, just see how it goes. Oh, this is Drav?
Yep. I mean, of course, it's about double damage. Sure, it makes sense. And now we're going to go back to the full build.
Yeah.
Do all the things.
Of course, it's always a lot crazier. But, I mean, that's a point right there. She just did 800K damage with
for nothing.
0.
I mean, yes, she has Eclipse, right? And honestly, the only thing she's boosting damage is what, 10% from the blade and 15% here. All those enemies are neutral or weak to light. So it's not like these things are doing much. I had kill Scap.
You weren't hitting Cap
up on her. It's not like it's using anything. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. This is nuts. Do we want to see the full ult since we're here?
Like pushing it?
Like, I mean full ult.
Bro.
Okay.
Have you done it?
Of course I have.
Let's do it, bro.
Okay, let me just throw some stuff back on her because I know I need to remember what exactly I need to put onto her. Ooh, hopefully I don't forget stuff, but it's probably gonna happen. This stuff's fine. This stuff is fine. Yes, we're gonna use that. Holy Hands, you can come on too. Why not? Okay, we are looking for stats now because everything I ran out of things to do. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, enablers here we want. You're getting Eldravana, 100%. We want Actually, no, we want Roland. We want Sarah, and we want a second Sarah, because if people don't know, the Sarah Innate plus 2000 cap does stack. Oh, hopefully I don't need to use 2 of these. Oh, let's do it the first time. Don't screw up. Don't screw up. Easier said than done. Let's do that and that. Equilibrium.
What I'm trying to think, is there a better stage?
There's a. I'm gonna do unexpected foe.
Okay.
This you cannot have put on Anula. Where's that at? Come on, come on, come on. All right, so this should work.
Should work.
I'm thinking to myself, like, do I need any more? I need to put him on.
Like,
Ooh, we don't want that. We don't want that.
was that
We don't want to do that.
sacrificial?
That was the instant kill stuff.
Yeah,
We don't want that. All right, this is fine.
that's great. Good catch.
Okay, let's go back to. This stage is
Got
a
a
little bit more HP. It's just gonna be, useful, and we're gonna see the caps a little bit easier.
Gotta love podcast shenanigans. It's one of my favorite things. Someone asked.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay. I'll let you focus.
I just gotta remember to do everything. That's all.
Just in the correct order.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the special cap stress test, everyone. All right, I'm gonna study here. Beautiful. Love the no damage.
Mm-hmm. He knows. Or I know. Mine's mine.
You know.
Unfortunately, they're
You
probably
have
gonna use
to
charisma,
use.
so I have to use this.
Yeah. Wee.
Top. Apply all elements. And then we need honey elixir on this. Oh, I think she has it, yeah. Okay, we're ready.
Do the thing, bro. Do it. What are we looking at? Wow. And that's like, you haven't gotten any kills.
Well, the kills don't do anything.
The kills don't raise special cap?
No, they only raise physical damage, which is why it's
My bad.
funny.
My bad. That's what you meant by.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So what I'm missing here from the absolute max cap, right, is Awaken 4. So I'm missing 2k there. I'm also missing 3k on the AE Arc scale. Mine's only at 7k. It can be 10k. So I'm missing 5k total. So we can hit, as you saw, there was 65,000 numbers there. You can hit over 70k on a single target boss with this, which is 5.6 million damage. Yeah.
Is there a multiplayer boss you could do on Nightmare solo?
It could. It's just I'll probably kill them like with everything else first. I mean, see, that's like full setup, right? But if you're using no one else and you want to just do a solo Alice and you want to help out in multiplayer and stuff, I still wouldn't suggest using ults. Like, I probably would just use a completely different unit for multiplayer. But yeah, her ult kind of slaps in most scenarios. I'll give a shout out real quick because I know I saw them do it earlier today, like right after a reset. Odium and DK had a great idea. They did, I believe they went in duo with 2 Alices, Great War Ruins. I'm pretty sure they were level 10s. Sarah and Roland, and they nuked the green gate. It was actually really funny. It was like 3 alts for like 10 million or 11 million HP.
Yep.
That was pretty funny. That's definitely something you can do. Now, would I suggest it? I mean, it's probably faster than clearing that stage normally. Because it's just, it's either 3 Nether Tempest spams from Namaja or nothing else.
Right.
But yeah, you can use that if you want to cap like 40k. Yeah, sure.
No, I just meant to see 6 million damage like taken away from a life bar rather than have it die halfway through. But we don't have to do it. We saw the caps. We saw the numbers.
There's no boss in here that I would use against. I mean, the only thing I would use on it would be Necrosion, right? And if you want to go try that, I haven't tried that, but we can't even open it actually.
Yeah, it's not to encourage using her in a multiplayer boss. It was just
For
to s-
testing,
just to
well, if it was
see.
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Sunday, we could do that
Right.
one.
So either way, that's a
Our
sign.
options are essentially Purplegate or
Yeah,
I
no,
believe it's the otherworldly Limit Breaker Field.
I'm good. No, we don't
Yeah,
got it. That's a
exactly.
sign. We don't got to worry about it. Either way,
Oh man, that's funny. I believe people are asking your chat maybe a discussion on Drav versus Great War
mm-hmm,
Ruin.
mm-hmm.
Um, so this is a completely endgame optimization type deal with using their alts. If you can cap the alt with Great War Ruin, it's only going to drop you 5k cap for Alice. Sure, yes. Great War Ruin does allow, since she has her own innate use of her like a little Great War Ruin herself, she can use that. Number one, that will get immediately will give her special back, because once it's used, it'll feel 100%. Then after that, you can use the Great War Ruin skill to get her alt back. And then if you felt like having a friend that had a Great War Ruin skill, you can get a fourth one in a row. Yes, that's going to be more damage than using Eldravana. And that's just like, you pick your scenarios, right? If you can nuke in one special or nuke in two specials, with refilling it with Great War Ruin from someone else, Eldravana is going to be more OP. But if for situations where you're going to be wanting many, many specials, Great War Ruin is obviously in clear and above, as long as you can cap, the best choice. This arc right here is one of the most completely broken things in the game. And
Yeah,
adding on the fact that she has an innate, or is it code beta, an innate mini GWOR to give you essentially with this arc, no matter what skill level it is, 3 ults in a row. I mean, first of all, that's where the strength debuff comes into play. That's where you might want to mitigate that damage or that
and
strength
skill
down.
stocks.
You want to have ways to get skill stocks back, of course. Yeah, if you have all the in-game stuff, and I know I use this in my Pablo showcase, or nuking Pablos in the 30 seconds or whatever. I was using this on her specifically for that reason. Like, you can get a bunch of ults in a row. Eldravana, though, is going to absolutely be your highest damage arc for specials in the game. Not only does it give you cap, it gives you 120% special damage boost straight up. Like, this is the easiest 2 cap arc in the game for her special. Now, and again, it's a UR. You don't gotta use that. Not
Killing
only that,
machines.
if you felt like never using her overboost, you could use killing machines. You could have full stocks, and this is going to boost your special damage based on skill stocks if you wanted to turn that off for killing machines too. Like, you can do that. You don't have to use the overboost. Now, of course, is that going to be her max damage? Yeah, it is. But you don't have to use it. So, what are you gonna do?
Have
She
fun with
can.
her.
She's, and again, like you and I have talked about before, and I'm sure many of the others, and I've seen in Discord earlier. She is a sandbox's dream, which is what I like to call her, because if you have all the stuff, you can make her broken as all hell. If you don't have all the stuff, she's still going to be great and amazing on her special, but she becomes very niche use. She's not going to outpace your top DP, your top physical DPS. She's just going to nuke the shit out of things with her alt. And concentrating on that, I think, is probably the main way to build her. Um, and like Pierre says in chat, she's just fun. Yeah, she has very fun skills. She's a cool special. She's fun to use alongside others that enable her, like Roland, like Sarah. Even using her in like a battle with like melee. I know like we just got like 3 light units in a row, but they're all really fun together. They
Mm-hmm.
all enable each other. Like melee enabling ailments, Roland enabling their specials, Alice just shitting on everything with her special. It's great.
So there you go. Just slap on Terramel 3 as well. Just
I mean,
boom.
if you got melee, sure, but even if like enable her special even higher, Terra Milks are some of the highest damage per SC boost in the game, and they work on all damage.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
She's solid. She's solid. And I can't wait to get her to Awaken 4. I mean, the funny thing is, this is her special at Awaken 2, right? Yeah. I know you have her at 3, and the multipliers of the special go up, and the damage cap goes up as we increase her special. So I'm excited to see what she looks like at Awaken 4. Notably, as many people probably know, and I just want to clarify, Awaken 5 and 6 do not increase your special damage at all. They only increase your base stats, which, I mean, yes, indirectly can improve your special damage, but no. Awaken 4 is what I consider max for a unit. unless you're willing, unless you're like, you're really simping for a unit, or you feel like you want to use them in arena and get extra stats. Sure, Awaken 5 and 6, but Awaken 4, that's the goal.
Yep.
It's always the goal.
Yep. I do Awaken 6 for my I love this unit. That's the only time
I would
do
agree
it.
with you 100%. Special damage plus 1% on our ward. Sure, I never even checked that, but that's solid. I'll take it. Yep.
So Ark.
Ark time. Yeah, absolutely.
Ark time.
I'm gonna go to, because I only have mine at level 1, so we're gonna go over to the gacha page and go check it out over there.
Sounds good.
Recommended White Monolith. Stat wise, first of all, art wise, pretty sweet. I like it a lot. And you said you were expecting this to be a UR for because of the importance to story, and I get that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't know if this makes any sense, but seeing the design, it looks like an SSR. It's just a freaking pillar, It's cool.
They could have done more with it, but
they could have done an art. There's a specific moment that I could have seen them do a UR for. Maybe you'll be able to think on the same page as me, but I'm not mad that they didn't do it, because SSR easier. It's more easily accessible.
It's way more accessible,
and it's got some good stuff.
The hype for her, I could have seen them also doing a UR as well, but no, I'm very happy it's also permanent in the general pool.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm not mad at it.
And we're gonna talk about why, because it's pretty nice. Being an SR, 2600 HP, 318 strength, 307 mind, sure. And like I talked about in my stream earlier, dude, I feel like they're just memeing on us every single time with these new arcs.
I didn't look at the MP.
16 MP. What? Why is this a trend nowadays? It's hilarious.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
I still think it's so funny that Betsy's arc has 4 MP at max. Regardless, she doesn't need too much help with MP. Her MP pulls are very strong innately. Alice specifically, so even if you wanted to use this on her, you don't have to. And I don't really think this is an arc meant for her anyways, because I don't think it's going to be better than a lot of others. As to the passives, light physical attack damage plus 20%, sure, that's nothing to write home about. When taking thunder attack, gradually cut magic attack damage taken minus 20%, resets each wave. I don't know the progression of this, but I don't think it's that important, because for places that we use magic, in PvE, it's not important at all. Even in PvP, thunder magic isn't that prevalent. I mean, yes, people use multi-magics and use lightning engage and stuff. Yes, people do use that, but that my magic isn't built for damage, so this isn't really that useful. Probably the most interesting part of this is that during counter, chance to stun. Now, I don't know the chance on this, but this is one of the only ways to stun for a unit that does not have stun research innately. We're gonna have to see the chance on that. I'm excited to see what data mines that. But the fact that counter now has been buffed, it now has a super armor type deal whenever you proc it, so you're going to hit to fruition. So you're at least going to guarantee the chance to hit, and if that attack has a stun probability, that's already more than 0. So stun is one of the most detrimental ailments in the entire game, and for places where I would think this is important is probably arena, right? Where ailments matter, where countering things matter. Not necessarily boss battles where you're going to get hit, but when you're consistently getting hit is places like arena. You may be able to proc a chance of random stun on someone, which can be a game changer in all honesty. So I think I'm excited to see the percentage chance on this. That's probably the one thing that I'm going to be. It's a new mechanic that we have not seen before, and we'll work from there. We'll see how it fleshes out. Skills wise though, I actually really like this arc. I think it has 4 fantastic skills on it. Counter, fast magic barrier, and those are 2 that we've seen before, right? Light drive, first time we've ever seen this. Being on a permanent SR, fantastic. Physical and special damage for light, plus 10%. Love to see it. Empty brave is cool. For 3 SC, when MP is exactly 20 or less, strength plus 15%. This synergizes super well with units who can dump their MP pools for stuff, such as Alice. Or anyone using, if you have Honey Elixir, if you have Winter's Apple Pie, if you're using that, right after you do that and dump all your MP, or even if you've used all of it via Sharp Eyes, which I'd be surprised with, 3 SC for basically another attack up max. That's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Machine High Boost. Only ever seen before on a UR SAlice. This is a UR specific arc that is now on a permanent gacha SSR. So we now have all of Machine Boost, Machine High Boost, both on SSR arcs. And that's super high value for us. Now, here's the thing. People have been wanting this skill forever. And if you don't have a lot of other stuff, yeah, it's pretty usable. I rarely find from personal aspect, I rarely find myself ever equipping this arc. Because generally I don't really care about the defense downs or like, the piercing defense. It's more along the lines of boosting your physical attack damage as high as you possibly can. So because it's 9 SC for only 20% physical attack power, I generally avoid it. But I could see it being like if you don't have enough boosts, like Sharp Eyes, Berserker, all the other like pretty optimal boosts. Yeah, it's great value for 9 SC. Life Fort though, I like this. We've only ever seen Life Brave before, and it is a progressive. Like it's not max 50% is if any of your HP is gone, right? It's boosts up to like at 10% HP, I believe it's called. I think it's the same as Life Brave at 10%. You can quote me if I'm wrong. At 10% HP, it's 50% boost. So that's when the max happens at 10%. Anything before there is going to be, like a progressive boost. Sure. And I do believe it does stack with, because it's not a buff icon. It'll stack with things like that are already boosting your base stats. So if you have auto fort on there, this will be nice for you. I will definitely be using this on units such as Ruto, Shift Gorm. Even a Roland could use it if he's getting it low. Although Roland is a madman and rarely ever gets low.
Yeah.
But yeah, skills on this solid. 4 of these skills, very, very usable. Light Fort probably the least of the 3, but Light Drive, Anti Brave, and Machine High Boost especially, fire. I'm really excited that this is a permanent arc for sure.
Yeah.
Enigma Cube, I'm not impressed with this at all. 66 MP, 66 MP though, very nice.
That's nice.
Magic Barrier effect, like
Dog
honestly
water.
to me very useless.
Yeah.
Attribute plus 10. Light is okay, and ailment cursor is okay, fine.
It's just MP.
I'm never just gonna use this. Like, yeah, there's plenty of things with more MP, even free stuff with more MP. So
very true.
Yeah, if you need it, use it for the MP, 100%. But yeah, the arc's solid. Again, I had people asking today for good reason. I guess it's good to learn. But should I chase this arc? No, you don't chase permanent SSR arcs. You let them come to you. This is not an arc where you're like, oh, I need this arc to fill out Alice, or I need this arc to work with my other units. No, it doesn't have game-changing stuff. When it comes to you, it'll come to you. If in your pursuit of Alice you get it, great. If not, that's fine. It might come to you in a different anniversary. It might come to you spooky on any other pull on any other single banner because it's part of the permanent pull.
Yeah, never chase SSR arcs.
I would never recommend absolutely it.
Never ever do it, or the police are gonna come get you.
Yep. They sure will. They sure will. Is it the event time?
Let's talk about it. It's not too crazy.
Not a huge event. We had some stuff added. Just before we get into the event, we had Beast Mania drop again, which added Hobgobble and the Pockle.
Yes.
Which are pretty funny. I believe in the boss wave for the Hobgobble, the boss has about 1 million HP and a couple adds. You just have to burst him down with skills and stuff. It's not really easy to cheese with like arc skills or anything else. Village of the Tree Spirit though is pretty funny. If you build Pockle physical DPS, build him up dual wield, put some Plant Slayer special boost on him, and use his S3 to clear out the waves, and then use the same thing we used for the Ghoul, which was Spirit Riot. Works perfectly. So Spirit Riot's OP in this one, and all you have to really do is kill the rest of the enemies, which is fun. These are pretty cool. I like these a lot, and they take a little building up for your units. The main attraction to these is you get this stamp for each one of them. Yep. So that's my favorite part, is the Flexa stamp. But just have some fun with it. Trials of the Summon Beast is back. If you have not finished the other, we didn't get any new stuff, right?
No new stuff.
No new stuff in here. If you haven't finished the actual trading space for them and snagging them all out of the shop. You have the time to do that. I know you mentioned that you were going to try to get on this with your orbs.
Yeah,
Or
I'll
at least
well,
work on it.
yeah.
These are recurring events, so you don't have to like jump at them right now. Um,
When I realized there's something in the other event that you might be moving to now, the anniversary match, or did you
oh
already talk
yes,
about it?
I didn't.
Yeah.
But let's go.
So the second volume, with this ether coin chance box, that's
Hmm.
basically how they gave us an infinite uh, Alice soul grind.
Uh-huh.
So,
They
step
did.
5, yep, reoccurring. It's not a lot,
It's
9
not a
per
lot,
step.
but if you're planning on doing the event hardcore and you wanted to like get a bunch of coins, for every 120 pulls, which is going to be 1,200 of the coins, you can get 9 Alice Souls. And of course, you
Yes.
can get 9 of the OG, but 9 Alice Souls at the final stage and
Mm-hmm.
recurring. So if you just keep dumping, you get 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. It's not the best jump in like soul drops, but it's at least something.
It's something. And if I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking showcase sooner rather than later, I'm on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other steps have nice little mega clusters, a
Yeah,
nice
they
little
do.
60 souls here, 5 mother souls, at least 50 mother souls, I guess, total. And then step 4's got this glow blade, um, as well as a Theorion Rainbow Mega, 2 of them. I mean, yeah, you're going to be wanting to do this whole thing and then snag some souls if you want to. I mean, that's the thing. We do have a part 2, so I don't know what's in here.
Correct.
Um, but if you want to grind souls for now, absolutely do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
like for the typical player, yeah, usually part 2, you just kind of hoard this kind of currency until we see. But sometimes they do it so that you can't get the one-time rewards, right? Like the part 1 chest will go away when they release part 2.
right.
So
Um,
if you want these mega clusters, like the first 4 steps, you'll
mhm.
probably need to cycle through those.
At
But
least do
then,
those once.
exactly. But then, yes, by all means, save your coins for the second part, which will introduce new rewards, and you can just get a
Uh-huh.
head start there.
And like
Um,
people are other saying there's probably a prism in spot in part 2. I mean, DOHs have
mm-hmm,
given at least one prism for their
exactly.
events. So assuming there's some stuff in here. So if you want to save coins, you absolutely can do that.
Yeah, but I'm planning on doing the showcase before part 2 rolls around. So
Smart.
that's my
I
reasoning.
listen, dump some into there. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
The other battles here, I think I want to cover the bonus challenge first. So the bonus challenge specifically, I want you guys to keep in mind. It doesn't mention this, I don't think, but it gives you a nice boost to the actual event points, but it gives you 10 souls for a unit in the party. And it's a pretty easy battle. So if you want to get 10 free souls every day, or 30 total, bring one single unit and a friend support who can clear.
Good shout.
So definitely do this with single units. You want to build souls. But then we go to the extra challenge, which is what a lot of people are excited about
Mm,
because this is where you get your ether, um, your Arc ether. If you do the first battle, the recommended level 20 machine army, not times 5, which is 50 tickets, it is going to be a guaranteed 2% ether boost to any of the arcs that you have equipped. So if I jump in here and I do this, and I don't have these ethered at all, um, all 3 of these arcs are going to get 2%. So for 50 tickets, 2%. Now to speed this up, they did add a times 5 version where if you wanted to dump all of your 250 tickets in here, it'll give you 10% arc ether at once. Instead of doing 5 times, you can just do this once and get all the same arc ether. It's not like the only benefit you really gain is 1 time, and 2, you don't have to use souls 5 times. But this is if you have this and need and can placate 10% ether on each of the arcs, do it. It's nice that they're adding just like speedier versions, right?
for sure.
Um, it's just quality of life. Quality of life is good. Um, and I believe someone's saying steal. Yes, absolutely. With all events, event currency, make sure you're stealing on at least final waves, if not as many waves as you can. And this is again why Beast Hunter 10 is so valuable.
Yep. Always
Hmm.
look out for those SR Stardusts.
Pretty crazy.
But yeah.
But yeah, this especially for like people who don't grind AER a lot. Essentially,
Huge.
each one of these 250 ticket battles, essentially, is 1,000 quests because it normally takes 10,000 on average quests to complete an arc either. Being a 10% of that, this is worth 1,000 auto run quests in story. So just keep that in mind. If you don't want to be friggin' farming arcs all day, every day, this is where you get your arc either finished. So, not too shabby.
Not at all.
Ordon, it's 2,500 tickets, by the way. Anyways, do you want to get into something you were trying before and hoping to?
You know, I got frustrated, bro. That's what
I know.
So I was pretty quiet in the beginning.
Buddha and I were discussing before the podcast pronouncement of the end, and can we make Alice into? You look so frustrated. Into a carry for this. For the 5 battle lords, 100% very easy to do. For 4 lords, because we cannot use arc skills, because it takes a little bit more effort. Can she solo this? I'm pretty sure she can't. Is it going to take some knowledge of game mechanics and stuff? Yes. I don't. From where we're at now, and not having her upgraded fully, I don't think I have the capability, and I think you would also agree that soloing this and making an easy hard carry is not easy at this moment. If not even possible. I'm almost assuming it's possible, and I'm sure Meta Man's gonna come out with some nutty video of soloing this shit with her. So, is it possible? Yes. Is she gonna be a hard carry unit? No. GWOR makes this battle about 1,000,000 times easier than any other unit. So I wish that she was gonna be the solo carry, but you can go on as to why.
Yeah, unfortunately, the best, and I think Borsalino was telling me you were attempting it as well this morning.
Yeah.
And
I was just having some fun with it. I'm like, nah.
yeah. The best I could do was get 1 ult off and basically all of them down to half health. So then it was like, well, if we can just get 2 of them off, if we can find a way to get 2 of them off, and talking about using everything, phone booth, the LR arc from Attack on Titan Part 2, where you charge up 30% of your special when the enemy uses the special, so it kind of goes hand in hand with the Grog launching the special. It's like those things, using all of those limited things, it just doesn't quite get there to activate a second ult in the proper time. So in order to chain the ults that would be needed, we would need to be able to use arc skills, and it's not a thing.
And that's the thing. Like, I think soloing it is a different story than creating a carry, right? I would love for the community to come together and get an Alice where we can just here you go.
Yep.
Here's your reward. You get the Zedgedogen. Fantastic.
All Gucci.
But it ain't turning out that way. So
it's just frustrating.
I'm not going to try to solo this. I'm not intrigued into soloing it. I think the GWOR stuff is so OP. It's disgusting. But if you guys want to try and solo it, good luck. Roland himself was already hard enough to solo. I mean, if anyone have seen Meta Man's video about Roland soloing this thing, it's pretty aggressive and takes a lot of battle mechanics to understand. So
that's the thing, is like, if GWOR, who is a permanent pool unit, much more accessible, you can do that strategy much easier on average. Why put so much time into figuring out a super try-hard strategy with Alice here?
Yeah, and she's totally busted.
There's just no return on it.
So funny. So, I mean, I'm just going to say straight out, I know people ask all the time, like, hey, where are you going to rate her? What are you going to rate her? We don't know exactly yet on the tier list. We've been talking like tier list stuff. We don't know yet exactly overall, right? But since she has the most broken damage special in the game, her ideal is a 10. Like,
it has to be.
It's not even a question. But for the other stuff like general and high difficulty, all that kind of stuff, we don't know yet. It's pretty funny.
Very mixed. She's
pretty funny. I can just
PvE heavy.
I can just straight up give that right now. Her ideal is a 10. And I'm pretty sure I already put it on the tier list. This is the only rating I've given her so far. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry, you can hit AoE damage about over 5 million in one special? Yeah, okay, here's a 10.
You gotta. I think people get maybe a little confused with your different categories in the tier list. Ideal is what we
Everything.
what Tweacz did with the stage and this double Sarah setup with Roland's charisma, right? Like that amount of damage output
Yes.
is beyond anything else that the
Ever.
game can offer. Anything. So it has to be a 10 because it is the highest. It's the
Yep.
peak of damage output you can achieve in a special.
Uh-huh.
So she has
For
set that
special
bar
damage, right?
for
We don't
special
consider
damage.
G-Luke special to be the similar thing because it's kind of like it's similar but it's different, right? It's
Yep.
OP in itself.
Yep.
But for actual special damage, completely
Mm-hmm.
different. Yep. Um,
But it's not realistic.
no.
No.
And here's the thing, which is what I'm excited about, and which you and I talked about before, is this transfer of, you know, side creep. Yeah, she's power creeping specials, yes. But overall, she's still side creep. Like she
Yep.
has her niche where she's super, super good at. But like everything else, I was like, okay, like I can use other units for that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And that's where I think their ATIS specifically in releasing units is succeeding so well, is that not every unit's just a direct power creep of everything before it.
Correct.
She's just very good in one specific area, and for one very, very niche area. Like you're not going to be using specials in every single quest you ever do.
Yep.
She's not like an overall game-changing unit for every single account,
Mm-hmm.
but she will be in the certain setups, certain scenarios
I'm
that you
telling
can
you,
be using her.
when
I love it.
the people who get her right now that are newer and they're struggling with tower, and let's say they're able to push story enough, they get Zlorg with a lot
Oh
of help.
my god,
Tower comes back and they bring her.
shit on everything.
You're gonna be like, oh my god.
Yep.
So that'll be a good time for a lot of players, which I'm excited for. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, just to reiterate your point. It's like when our Dean released, and you looked at what he was doing against dragon type enemies. It was like this is unnecessarily broken compared to what we had in the game during Ardene's
Yeah.
release.
Perfect little
60k dual
niche.
wield caps, but it's only against one type in the game that's not a really common type, right? Super niche, but unnecessarily broken there. That's Alice with her special. Everywhere else in the game, she's a very good unit. She's a very fun unit, but she's not just jumping above everything else. So yeah, I'm a fan of the way that they're introducing power creep
Yeah.
along with side creep. It's like you have these everything side creeping, but now you have little units that have their outliers that do jump above and set new standards, but it's not
Great.
like it's not like if you don't have Alice, you're not going to do well in the game. You're not going to perform like it's not like that. So,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. 100%. Actually, the next thing I want to talk about is, we have two very good banners going on. What would you suggest? Like we have comparing SRoland to Alice. Well, who would you suggest most people to go for, or like what are the benefits of going for either?
shift rolling, bro. I like
SRoland, bro. He's
shift
one of
rolling.
the most busted units we've ever had in the game.
He's insane. Like
Act.
when we reviewed him, we knew he was gonna be good. We knew he was like stellar. He was top tier. I mean, you put him at like a 9-9.
9-9.
But bro, after I used him in tower, I'm one of these guys that's like put him up to a 10. Just put him up to a 10, bro. Like
I mean, dude,
is
listen,
stupid.
he's as much as we want to conflict 9.9 to 10. The only reason there's a discernible difference between the two
Mm-hmm.
is because I think there is a difference. Now, it's just that's terrible reasoning, but like it's this is again debating versus a 9.9 versus a 10.
I know. I know. I
Even like a
can see.
9.5 versus a 10. This is it's so funny
Yeah.
because like are we really doing that? Like that's when people say like put them into a 10, put them into a 10. I'm like, dude, like we have a reasoning. Can we just like it's
Yeah.
fine.
No. No. No.
It's
I think.
okay.
I think overall, I can absolutely understand him being at a 9-9. Do you at least have him a 10 in ideal?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. So he's got a 10 somewhere. Yeah, I'm fine with him being a 9-9 because obviously there are limitations to him.
Absolutely.
There are. just being locked to an element, even though he just kind of bullies past it.
Oh, he bullies plenty.
He
Yes,
bullies
but
past it,
not
but
everything, and not everyone
not
can do that.
everything.
That's the issue.
Not everyone can do that. Like, I mean, if you go into a battle with him and you don't have weak and something has 100 res, he's not doing jack shit to it.
Bro, how many times? Oh my! For all the people out there who have run, oh, what battle is it? Maybe Martigade with like shift Rolands, and everyone's a shift Roland, and I'm sure people have run into this. No one has weak on, and you're fighting a white elemental that has 100 res with like Zajadojan, or you have a light sword on, and no one can do damage.
Can't do anything.
I personally have run into that, and it is so funny. We're all just sitting there like one damage. We're like, oh no, none of us brought anything to kill with. So
Exactly.
it's pretty funny.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's splitting hairs at that point.
It is. Basically, for a lack of, just to put it simply, if a unit cannot use Trishula, they can never be a 10. Sorry, guys. It's just a fact.
I don't disagree, but that's not like the main.
That's not the reason, though. I was more just making a meme out of Trishula.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I think someone brought it up. I think Jal brought it up. Compare her a little bit to SummerAlice. Now I can do that. I know you don't have her, right?
You can do that much better than me, and while you do that,
Okay.
I'm going to go to the restroom.
So comparing her to SummerAlice, it's actually really funny. I mean, this Alice, of course, has a more potent AoE special as well as a more potent single target special. She has her own Great War Rune. But in the physical DPS department, SummerAlice has extremely high mods. She has around the same cap, if not a little higher, has good conversion, and in general can be built very, very bulky as well as being super high damage physical DPS. So it's funny though that because that unit was released in August of last year, and her physical DPS compared to this one is probably still better. They both have they both have their innate full either released. So Goddess Kiss procs, they can essentially sustain the same amount of damage. But this one's special is something just that special. So I that's a consideration to ask. Swimsuit Alice is still a fantastic unit. I mean, any unit that has an innate honey elixir to refill all your skill stocks already gets my vote of approval for not having to use honey elixir and or winner's apple pie and super limited stuff to get them to get their SCT back and having some pretty nutty damage potential. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, her physical damage. I mean, yeah, this one's not that bad. She's pretty good at physical DPS. She's just not like your broken Levi's or Roy's or like Loug Zeus and those kinds of units. She's just good. And then what's really, really special about her is her special. So we lost to Buddha. That's okay. I hope you guys are having fun with it. This has been a pretty good update. I mean, if you guys want stamps, make sure you go to the Beast Mania. Work on the Trials of Summons Beast. The accessories are okay. I haven't seen much use to them, but I mean they're good. You can God Force them, whatever. I should mention that all of the training field ability gates are open every single day. If you have not heard of that, as much as we also have free continues still going on. We have free continues. So please during multiplayer, if you are the host, I know it's going to say continue and it's going to have the little gem thing, but it's going to be free. So run these. If you die, that's fine. Jump in here. Free revives for everybody. So that's really nice. As well as them having half soul and raid up. Pretty good.
Talking about gates, ability gates.
Gates. I answered that question about Alice versus SummerAlice, and
Right.
I think a lot of other people would agree. Capping her physical DPS is way easier on SummerAlice. She has extremely high mods, like more than most other units.
Yep.
And comparing those two is like hard to do because like the mods
they're different.
Ridiculous. They're just completely different.
Like that, we were talking about that before we started the pod. Like this Alice is so similar to her OG form in so many ways. OG also felt really like she had really low multipliers in her skills and her physical attacks, but then her special was bonkers. It's literally what this unit is right here. In the mobility, all that was the exact same. But with Summer Alice, there was a difference between them that I could feel even using support Alice's. I was like,
Oh, 100%.
this is not the Alice I know and love.
She's similar to the Summer Alice is similar to the Roland. In fact, they like in the way that you can build a lot of bulkier stuff on her and still have her cap against a lot of enemies.
Yeah, she hit cap so
this,
easy, and
this one needs quite a bit of stuff put into her.
Correct, and with the meta being so focused on physical DPS, I told you that's why I think your average player who has experienced both is going to be underwhelmed by this Alice.
100%. If you had to choose the two, again, if you're a new player, you might get Alice in 6 months, and by that time, you might have an account built enough to be able to utilize her well. But in the meantime, if you go for Roland and you have Roland, he's gonna serve your account 1,000 times better than honestly most other units in the game, especially Alice.
And because I think a lot of veterans will give the advice that you want to focus on one character at a time, literally, especially when you're just starting. The value and the return you get out of working on Roland and just dumping stuff into him, you're not going to face any walls that you potentially could with Shift Alice here.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, she becomes nutty for any account when you get Sword of the Lost Souls. Like that's a turning point for this Alice with your average like mid-game player. But until then,
just to mention, if people are asking, like, I know there's some new players that tune in. This is acquired when you beat Zlorg down in Port Marquita. So I believe you have to beat is it the entire first arc?
No. It's
up
until
SAlice?
I think so.
So up until you beat SAlice, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but up until you beat SAlice in Arc 1, Sword of Lost Souls is acquired by fighting Zlorg down in Port Marquita in the Mordana continent.
I have a whole guide on how to get Sword of
down
Lost
here,
Souls.
on the bottom left, right down here.
Explains exactly what you need to do.
Zlorg the Devourer. Yep. Of course, the first reward. Oop, look at that.
5 seconds. What the hell?
That's from that is still there from,
Oh, the
R.I.P.
The sauce.
Zekis. But yeah, Final Fairies. Yeah, Mordron brings up Final Fairies. You have a guide for that, so definitely look up Buddha's guide for getting the Sword of Lost Souls. But
but even just beating Zlorg, if even like, I'm always what's the word? An advocate for like work on your own account to beat things, but no, like if you have Shift Alice, the faster you can get to Zlorg and then use a friend unit to carry you through the battle if need be, do it. Because I'm telling you, when her special is like unbarred by anything, she's gonna quickly become one of your favorite units in the entire game. If you're anything like your boy Buddha here. So I'm very pleased with her because I love Doji Alice. I love the speed. I love her mobility. I love how quick that special charges, and I like just spamming it and abusing it. This one doesn't disappoint in any. I
love units that have. I've been looking for a long time, since probably Loug Zeus, for units that with a broken ass special that I can use for certain places in the game, and she fulfills that. And I love that she's not like power creeping in every single other aspect. She's very niche, and she does that very, very well. And I love that about releasing units that cannot do everything.
Yeah.
I hate, I know people like talk about like compare games to other games, all that kind of stuff. This isn't a game where it's every single thing is power creeping each other every single week. We get very niche power creeps, which is fantastic. for like the future of the game. Like we're not going to be like, oh, I'm not like sitting here worrying, like having anxiety over the fact that in 2 weeks maybe a unit's going to power creep my entire unit list. No, it's not going to happen. They might power creep a couple units on there, sure. Like this SAlice power crept literally every alt unit in the entire game, but that's a completely niche scenario.
And they're very aware of that. It's not just like us coming to observative conclusions. It was stated that their plan is to side creep ever since Loug, and
yeah,
they have done that since then.
They've been filling out like the unit list based on like areas of the game separately. Have we gotten very good supports? Yes. Have we gotten very good DPS? Yes. Have we gotten very good arena units? Absolutely. Have we gotten special nukers? Sure. Like, I don't know. I like it. It bodes well for the future of the game because, you know, you if you don't need a niche, like if you don't need a special attacker, if you don't want to pull in her, you don't have to. It's a win. You can save your gems, save for a unit that you actually want, save for collabs you are waiting for. Like, she's not a must pull. I think the best unit we've had in recent memory is SRoland. So if you wanted to throw some gems, definitely go at him.
For sure.
But yeah, it's nice. I feel like people lose track of the fact that, you know, not every banner has to be an incredible addition to your own unit list, right? The winning aspect of not spending on banners is that you're saving for something you actually want.
Yeah, I agree with X-Man though. Like, it was super disappointing it wasn't the bird from Beast Hunter.
My God, dude. Man, I literally watched. So I commented on your on your video, and I said something about like thanks for playing along, or like, you know, thanks for keeping up with the act.
Yeah.
And I literally watched the first like 20 seconds. I was like, this guy's never gonna mention Alice.
Oh, it was. I had too much fun. And did you go through the comments? Because then I started responding to the ones who genuinely thought I was guessing.
I did, and it was pretty funny.
It's very funny. Even when
Flores,
even when they released her info and revealed her, and people were like, "See, I told you, it's Shift Alice." I was like, "No chance."
So, Buddha, just real quick, and I know I'm so sad I completely missed this.
What?
I forgot to talk about her regulars.
Okay, you please talk to me about why you're so hyped about them.
Okay, so let's just bring that into like a actual scenario. Let's go here. Let's go here.
I think I know why.
You should know why.
I think I know why. I don't know why it doesn't hype me up as much as you were enthusiastic about.
It's okay. That's what we're gonna get you hyped.
Break it down for me.
So if we're building her physical DPS wise, and you know, generally alt wise, I'm gonna put this on and build her like, you know, part alt, part physical DPS, because that's how she, you know, generally can be built. These two off. So Goddess Kiss. We're looking at, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yes, Oradon. The wave thing she shoots out that has range. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about.
Tweacz lesson of the day.
Okay, I think that's enough. Let's put on some stuff for her. So of course I'm going to be using Trishula, and because she is light element, we're going to use Trishula in her paid, and then we're going to be using this and probably this guy. All right. So we're looking at her and we're hanging out and we're chilling. I'm gonna put on Tinkili just because she's a general. Sure. Wow, that's aggressive.
Pierre, I'd be willing to bet that Alice is the closing act to this little light unit rampage that they've been going on.
I hope so. I don't think we need any more.
I don't think we're gonna get any more.
I really don't think we need any more. So here's what's happening. So the idea with her regular attacks is that it is 4 hits to wield. Okay, so it's not high hits, but it does have piercing effect and being ranged. Okay. Now, if you're fighting one enemy, it's not going to hit twice or anything. It's just if you're fighting mobs of enemies, it can hit in front of her, be ranged in front of her, but also hit behind her.
Okay.
So it's more like an AoE regular attack, which we're going to show here. So you see that like blade coming out?
Yep. Yep.
Did you see these procs?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We're all seeing that. Just doing this. It can
Okay.
hit all of those back there.
Right.
Without having to be in trouble of getting attacked by everyone.
Gotcha.
So yes.
That's going a lot farther than I like.
Yeah, no shit.
How far does that go exactly?
Bro, it's like half the map.
Oh, that's a little wild. I wasn't fighting the right battles. This looks a lot crazier than what I did. Or what I saw.
Like with this shit. Every single one of those procs was 484. I mean, yes, I'm capping because I'm using the correct elements. I'm using a slider on it. I'm using all the physical attack boost, but I'm capping out. It's so disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it.
Now, if you fight a boss, yeah, they're probably going to be stationary. You're not going to be able to hit. But if you have mobs with the boss, you can position yourself behind the boss. You know, fire those things out into the middle of the map, and do crazy shit like that. Like, it is the only thing that we've seen like it, right? Of course, I would prefer if it was ranged itself.
Right. She has to get up close to her target.
She has to hit something up close in order for it to follow through, pierce, and hit. Yeah. It's only 4 hits. But dude, I didn't even use a skill there. I mean, yeah, it wasn't that impressive DPS, but like, look at those procs.
No, I get it. And each one of those can activate Goddess Kiss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. Every single piercing hit can activate Goddess Kiss.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
I love it. I think, and thank you for bringing that up, Flores, because I completely forgot it. But yeah, it's crazy nice for Goddess Kiss procs. And it's not like I'm using a physical DPS arc. I just use this for like flint resistance for 30 seconds. Like, I like it a lot. Will be very good for Goddess Kiss, like, you know, and because she needs so much MP for her kit, right? Like her 2 MP dumpers.
Yep.
Either full release, looking at code beta. Every time I Goddess Kiss proc there, I could launch a new either full release.
Exactly.
That's incredible SET sustain and damage potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may not be the highest burst, but in a long battle where you can build for that, yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. Well, good. I'm glad Flores
yes,
brought that
I
up.
Appreciate that input because I definitely forgot to mention, and that's something that I've been doing forgetting, is to talk about the regular attacks. But for her, it's very important and it's very good.
Yeah, well, I don't think there has been a lot of notable regular attacks, so until Alice, so not a terribly big deal. I'm trying to think. I'm sad they didn't add a Zelbius Godforge. That didn't come to fruition.
I'm still praying it's gonna happen, man. I need that blue sword. I need the blue sword, man. It's
I just don't think they thought about it.
I think they want to give it to me. I think they do. I really do.
They should. It's a cool sword.
I need that sword right here. Give me it.
Damn
it. Anyways,
I don't have anything on my list that.
So what's coming up soon here? We actually have the event next week. We have a time trials.
That's right. Time trials, baby. You'll be excited.
Let me just go in here real quick. I know we have like.
To my knowledge, you're still a little handicapped in that area.
I don't know yet. If I was released, it would have been the beginning of March. So this is the first time we've seen any ranking since. So maybe. Oh, but boy. You know, I'm probably locked in the basement still. Who knows?
If Crypt is.
If Crypt has been, yeah, I'm probably locked. Fine.
Yeah. I don't know why they did that.
Who knows? But should be interesting. I believe we're fighting the Council of 10, and I don't think we're going to cover it next week. Like, we're probably not doing a podcast next week, I would assume. Because it's not that big an update. It's up to you.
Correct.
I mean,
no, I'm not planning on it unless something crazy happens, but I'm not planning on it.
Sure. No problem.
Do you remember what came directly after the anniversary last year?
It was like...
Wasn't it Shift Medina?
Well, we had Ruto, and then it was like... Was it Shift Medina? Or I think Shift Medina was before.
Was Shift Medina before?
I think Shift Goroth was soon after, and then Loug Zeus.
Oh, right, because Baron and Rabala, yeah.
Yeah, so let me grab the tier list up. Let's see who was here. Shift Kyle.
Yep.
Night Lord Ruto, or
Yep.
Holy Knight Ruto.
Yep.
Then we had Medine after Ruto, then Baron and Rabala, then Goroth, and then Loug Zeus. And then guess what was after Loug Zeus?
Collab. Big Roy.
Oh yeah, the FMA collab. So I mean, we are all expecting a collab this summer. We're all also expecting in August all the a new summer unit. So be ready for that stuff. Save your gems now if you can, especially if you're new. Get rolling, get out, pretty much.
The conclusion, Yuri, is Alice is not a must-have.
No.
She's just an extremely fun toy.
Uh-huh.
But not a must-have. If you're asking for a must-have in a new account, that's this boy.
That's the homie rolling. Yeah, he's
That's your
he's
reroll
definitely the
target.
highest value of any unit we've had in a long time.
He's a dope dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't think of anything.
Nope,
else.
me neither.
So
that was a fun one though. It was
a
seeing
fun
some
one.
big PB numbers is always fun.
I was very excited to see just ludicrous special today.
I saw it, dude.
And I was not disappointed.
It's
wonderful. So I'm gonna enjoy seeing where else in the game Tweacz, maybe myself, finds to abuse that ult, just make it look ridiculous. I'm very excited for Tower of Trials to come back because I'm gonna feel some nostalgia from that. All right, but I think that's all we got for you this time, guys. Like, subscribe, bell noties if you're new, but I know everyone in the chat is a Booda Gang fam. Tweacz, you need a name for your squad, for your subs, bro.
Nope, I just sent them straight to you, man.
You send them to me. Tweacz is a Booda Gang homie.
Yep.
Dope. I'll take it. Thank you for being here, listening. Hope you learned something. Hope you got some information, got some questions answered that were on your mind about Alice here. Of course, it's day one. There's always new stuff to learn and experience as time goes by. So just be on the lookout on our channels to see what types of videos we can come up with. Thank you to my co-host, as always, Tweacz, for holding it down, being the last Cloudia teacher that, I love plagiarizing. And
classic.
With all that being said, guys, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play hard. See you in the next video.